What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? It's been a while since I've seen that one. Anyway, guys, today, as the title of this video suggests, we've got a really big thank you to be talking about today. Today is the launch of the Transform system being prototyped under the name Whaikaha. It seems like we've only been working on this for perhaps the last 18 months. And I suppose you could say, work in the mid-central has probably gone about that long. But we're actually talking about the scope of like a 30-year period of disabled people and their families campaigning for change. There are a few fundamental things that are wrong with the current system. Currently, disabled people and families have very little control or say-so over the services that are delivered to them. Currently, unless you're on individualized funding, disabled people in whānau have very little exposure or interaction with the resource, and fundamentally the system in itself is not driven by many people with lived experience. So governance, control over the resource, and overall say-so are just three. They're not the only things, but just three of the things that we're trying to solve through the Transform system. And it is for me a great honor and a privilege to be a part of the National Leadership Group. I've had the honor and privilege, I'll say again, of working alongside some of the most learned, knowledgeable, strategic, influential people that you could imagine, all of them sitting within the disability sector. So I joined the National Leadership Group in 2013, but way back in 2008, conversations began in terms of influencing government to address the quality of services delivered to disabled persons and families. I've had the opportunity to be involved in quite a few of the governance development discussions. My first exposure was supporting and working alongside the Christchurch Leadership Group, which later turned into the Christchurch Regional Leadership Group. That group sat within the demonstration first of all, so I got direct exposure to the Christchurch demonstration and how it was supporting disabled persons and families. I then had the most surreal experience working with the people in the Mid-Central. In terms of the work in the Mid-Central, I understand one of the reasons why we engaged the Mid-Central was because they were a clean slate town. Very little had been done in that area in terms of social policy development for disabled persons and families. Waikato, I just want to say that I've always been really impressed with the initiatives, with the advocacy, with the professionalism of the team in the Waikato. Waikato has really done itself proud in terms of being everything that we wanted the EGL vision to begin to look like. There's still a long way to go in all areas, but Waikato was definitely the leading example of how to do things in a transformed way that works with disabled people and families rather than dictating to them. Now the Mid-Central, coming back to the Mid-Central was really interesting because, as I said just now, very little had been done in that area. disabled persons and families were really cautious about providers. They were really cautious about systems. They were really nervous about the fact that things were changing. But by the same token, there was absolutely no one in the room that didn't agree that things needed to change. I went through a 6-month process supporting all the core groups that make up the Mid-Central Leadership Group to understand what was going on. And I won't go into detail because that's not really the purpose of this video, but I just wanted to say, you would think that disabled persons' families and providers would have such differing views that it would be impossible to get anywhere in terms of agreement to policy development or whatever. What I've seen and what I've observed, and if you've watched any of my live streams, actually, somehow, I don't know how, and hats off to the community, somehow they find a way to agree that the principles of EGL, they are applicable, and they've also agreed a process for making them applicable. So again, it's been a whirlwind time for me. I came into this 2013, and I just want to acknowledge everyone, the leadership groups, the national leadership group, the working groups, the individuals and families that have been talking to us at the various road shows that we've been going to, the people that stop me in the street and want to have a robust discussion about what they think and feel about EGL. Thank you to the people all over the country that have, engaged in civil dialogue with me and, expressed to me how EGL is going to impact their lives and their families' lives. And lastly, if I reflect on, so what does this all mean for Jade? What does this all matter? I think about my mum, and my mum always said, we need to let families make the calls. We need to let families decide what's going to happen. We need to divert more of the resource away from overhead and meaningless projects and give it back to the families. We need to listen more to what families want rather than analysts and, people that have no experience whatsoever with disability. My mum, she says, she used to say when I was younger, these people, there's so much money swimming around in the system. What do they do? All my mum ever wanted to see was a system where disabled people and families could do what they want and overcome their impairments in a meaningful way to build the lives that they want for themselves. And guys, I'm not necessarily a spokesperson for this, but I will say, I do feel at this point in time we're getting really close to my mum's vision. And that's what makes me really proud to be part of this project. If you want to know why I work EGL, if you want to know why I do anything that I do, why I've decided to move closer to an organization that, facilitates individualized funding, it's because I fundamentally believe that disabled persons and whānau should be in control of their own lives. We're not there yet. The Mid-Central will be the testing ground for everything we believe will work. It's not going to be perfect day one, but thanks to the try, learn and adjust approach agreed by Cabinet, we have the ability to make changes along the way and and ensure that we don't let anybody down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my 2 cents on the rollout of transformation happening today. It has been an honor and a privilege to be able to speak with you in this way. If you want to support my content, there are a couple of ways you can do that. You can subscribe to me here on YouTube, but also I have a Twitch channel and you'll find the link below. I've actually placed it inside a Linktree. I almost forgot the name there for a second. Linktree. And you'll find links to all my social media there. The more you can follow me, the better, because that means we can be better connected and have much more of a robust dialogue together. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got time for now. As I say, it's been great to talk to you in the way that I've been able to today. If there's anything you'd like to talk to me about, please leave a comment down below. If there's something you disagree with me about, leave that down there too. But guys, thank you for being a part of the channel. Thank you for being a part of the journey. Please stay awesome, and we'll see you in the next one.